secret to the inhabitants of the land as to prevent another war for the legendary Triforce. Descendants of the royal family were born with a special power, tied directly to having Hylia's blood coursing through their veins. It became a custom to often name Hylian princesses and queens Zelda, in honor of Hylia's first human incarnation. Many years went by as the kingdom of Hyrule prospered and developed in peace. One fateful day, evil creatures swarmed the land and brought the kingdom to ruin. When it seemed that the kingdom of Hyrule would face its end, tiny beings known as the Picori, also called the Minish, descended from the sky and gifted a young boy clad in green the Picori blade, and a shining golden light known as the Light Force to drive back the monsters and seal them away within the bound chest, using the blade as a key, restoring peace to the kingdom once again. The Light Force was passed down to the princesses over generations to ensure it would never fall into the wrong hands. The royal family would protect the Picori blade and kept the existence of the Picori and a Minish realm from which they originated a secret. Every year, the Hylians held the Picori Festival in celebration of the Picori, where a sword fighting tournament takes place and whose winner will have the honor of touching the Picori blade during a ceremony. Many years after, King Gustav ruled over Hyrule. He had close ties with the Wind Tribe who resided within the Wind Ruins in the marshes of Castor Wilds, within the then unexplored region of Tabantha. This tribe gained mastery over the winds and eventually left to live on the clouds within a floating fortress known as the Palace of Winds, taking the wind element, one of the 4 elements that gave the Picori sword power, with them. The other 3 elements of earth, fire and water were hidden within the deep wood shrine protected by the Forest Minish, the Cave of Flames in Mount Krenel, and the Temple of Droplets within Lake Hylia, respectively. In the Minish realm, Eslo, a famous sage and craftsman of the Picori, was betrayed by his young apprentice Vaati after he was corrupted by the wickedness of the hearts of men. Vaati took a magic cap Eslo had made for the people of Hyrule, which granted a wearer any wish, and became a powerful mage. Eslo tried to stop him, but Vaati cursed him into the form of a green cap. Once every 100 years, a secret magical door opens from which the Picori come to visit. One of those special years, during the rule of Gustav's descendant King Daltus, the Picori festival was unusually grand. Vaati had crossed the gate and won that year's sword fighting tournament with ease, which caught the attention of many in Hyrule. Vaati was after the Light Force, which he believed was locked within the bound chest, and competed in a tournament to get close to the chest. During his ceremony, Vaati took out the guards and shattered the Picori blade, which in turn released monsters into Hyrule. Realizing the Light Force wasn't in the chest, he petrified Princess Zelda and left to continue his search. The Picori blade was the only thing that could break Zelda's curse, and could only be restored by the Picori themselves. However, the Picori could only be seen by children, which is why the king chose the young Link to take the sword to the Picori. Within the Minish Woods, Link encounters Eslo, who is being attacked by Octoroks, who joins him on his journey and helps Link shrink to the size of the Picori. Eslo leads Link to the Minish village. There, Link meets with the village elder, who tells him that in order to fix the broken blade, he will have to gather the 4 elements hidden through Hyrule and imbue them into the sword. With the help of Eslo, Link finds the 4 elements and brings them into the Elemental Sanctuary, the gateway between Hyrule and the Picori realm, where he imbues the elements into the blade, transforming it into the 4 sword, a powerful blade capable of splitting the wielder into 4 identical copies of himself. In the meantime, Vaati had possessed the King of Hyrule and ordered the guards to search for the Light Force. It wasn't long before he learned of Link's quest to repair the blade with the 4 elements, and confronted Link in the Sanctuary, where he learned that the Light Force dwelled within the princesses of Hyrule generation after generation, thanks to the stained glass in the temple which told the legend of the Hero of Men. Vaati then turned Hyrule Castle into Dark Hyrule Castle, and extracted what he could of the Light Force from Zelda before Link confronted him, transforming himself into different monstrous forms. Link defeats him, breaking the curse on Zelda, and they both flee towards the Elemental Sanctuary as the castle begins to collapse, where they are stopped by Vaati, which transforms himself into his final form, a powerful black one-eyed demon. After a long battle, Link manages to defeat Vaati, which in turn breaks the curse on Eslo. Eslo then gives Zelda the Minish Cap, with which she wishes the castle and all the cursed inhabitants of Hyrule to go back to normal and making all the monsters disappear. After this, Ezlo gave Link a green hat similar to his previous form as a sign of his friendship, and leads Hyrule through the Elemental Sanctuary, the door closing behind him to be opened again in 100 years. Peace returned once again to Hyrule, as Vaati was thought to be dead, but this was far from the truth, as one day he reappeared in his monstrous form to terrorize the land of Hyrule once again. Having forgotten his past as a Picori and his crave to obtain the Light Force, he took over the Palace of Winds and named himself the Great Sorcerer of the Wind. With his power to manipulate the wind at his command, he assaulted numerous villages, kidnapping every beautiful woman in Hyrule one by one. Many knights and brave men faced Vaati in an attempt to free the girls from Vaati's grasp, but all failed. It was then that a young boy appeared with sword in hand, and after hearing what Vaati had done, promised to defeat the sorcerer. The boy marched into the Palace of Winds, sealed Vaati within the sword, and rescued the girls. The mysterious boy then went deep into the forest and disappeared. The girls told the villagers of how he used the sword to split into four to defeat the mage. The villagers named the blade the Four-Sword, and built a shrine to protect it. For many generations, the royal family of Hyrule watched over the Four-Sword and its seal, but one fateful day, the seal began to weaken, and having sensed that something was wrong, Princess Zelda asked Link, a boy whom she trusted the most, to accompany her to the shrine to see what was going on. It was then that Vaati broke out of his seal within the Four-Sword and kidnapped Zelda to make her his bride as a celebration of his return, and took her to his palace. Shortly after, the Great Fairies appeared before Link and instructed him to take the Four-Sword, which split him into four. The fairies told Link that they could help him get to the Palace of Winds, but he would have to first prove himself courageous enough. After traveling through the Sea of Trees, the volcanic Death Mountain, and the Frozen Talus Cave, the four Links headed towards the Palace of Winds to confront Vaati and rescue the princess. The four Links managed to seal Vaati into the Four Swords once again and rescue Princess Zelda. They then returned the sword back into the pedestal and merged back into a single form. Peace returned to Hyrule once again, and the Four-Sword remained under the watchful eye of Princess Zelda. And that was the Era of Prosperity and the Force Era. If you liked this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos like this one. Also, if you haven't already, please consider following me on Twitter and Instagram at ZeldaLore86. This has been ZeldaLore, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.